From that podcast, again, it's the You Never Know, You Know What I Mean podcast. Here is Baker Mayfield talking about the mental toll that last year took on him.
I was trying to be tough and fight through it, but then physically I wasn't as capable of doing what I would normally was. Mm-hmm. So when I wasn't performing on the field, that's when it really started going downhill. Because I can tough it out. I don't care. I'm not going to complain about it. Everybody's banged up. I play quarterback. I don't get hit nearly as much as these guys that literally smash somebody every play. Yeah. I have no reason to complain. But then when it started hindering my play and it going downhill, that's when I was like, shit. And that's when I started losing my own self-confidence and just losing myself. And this past year was rough. It was. It was rough on me, my family. It sucked because I knew what I could be doing, but I physically wasn't in a state to do it. And then because physically, it was mental. Mm-hmm. And it just the whole thing was one after another. And so that's why this whole process of now, I don't know where I'm going next.
And it's kind of interesting to have him admit that he did, his confidence did suffer.
Yeah, this is stuff we've known about Baker Mayfield for a while, though, right? We've always known when it goes bad with him, it can spiral a little bit, right? Just like it can spiral the other way when it goes good with him. This is just something that's about his personality himself that hey, when he's playing well, he's riding the highs, but when he's playing bad, he gets deep down in those lows and it's hard to get. Remember in 2019 where he changed his mustache 5 different times because he was convinced that was somehow going to change the energy around him? This is stuff that whether it's funny or not, we have known about Baker Mayfield for a while and has been a bit of a concern. And again, this is stuff that we have asked him to kind of, it's a tough thing to do, right? I'm not acting like this is easy. You flip a button, you go it's not an easy thing to fix, right? I'm not trying to give off that impression, but when your job is as critical as being the quarterback, the number 1 overall pick of an NFL franchise, they're going to ask you to do everything that you can to even out a lot of this stuff, and that's what I want to know from Baker Mayfield. If you knew that was an issue dating back to 2019, probably dating back for as far as he's played football, right? That when you're not playing well, you have a tendency to go further down, whether it's mental or physical or whatever it is. And it sounds like he's saying it was mental in that clip. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he said it was more mentally to him what was going on with him. And, what was he doing to try to fix that? Did he try to seek any professional help? Did he go to some sports therapy? He doesn't have to tell us everything, but some transparency would be nice for teams, I would guess, to know, hey, what did you actually try to do to fix this? Because that's been another thing, right? Mechanically, we've been having questions about things that Baker Mayfield has needed to fix with his mechanics for years. His feet, right? Main thing. There's other things, but his feet, right? And every time we ask him, hey, what are you planning on doing? He tells us he doesn't need it, right? So what if he knew mental health was an issue that took a toll on him, that he could not handle things? We hear about this with star athletes all the time. Sometimes it's Kevin Love being open about it when he's playing with LeBron and he's like, hey, this took a mental toll on me. I needed to get my mental health right. Okay, cool. I have no problem with that. Obviously, nobody should even have a problem or an issue with that. But it is something that, hey, we're going to ask you to be better than that, or at least try to, fix that. And he never really did. And this is why he's kind of in the situation he's in. Talent has very little to do with it when it comes to Baker Mayfield, and why he's been so up and down. It comes down to a lot of the things mentally, right? He can't find that straight line to just be nice and dependable. And when you're not dependable at the quarterback position, it don't matter how high your highs can get because they can't trust you.